Hi, I'm Charlie from the Royal Park's Mission Invertebrate, a project helping people to discover, celebrate and protect the important invertebrates that call London's Royal Parks home. Here is an area of lowland acid grassland, which is a nationally important habitat. We have many different types of grassland in the UK, with different grasses and flowering plants depending on factors such as soil type, altitude and acidity. Lowland acid grassland develops on low nutrient, acidic soils that are well draining. Across London, we have pockets of habitats with these conditions because over thousands of years, the Thames has deposited lots of sand and gravel, which creates lots of nice, well-draining soils. These habitats tend to be less suitable for growing crops, so they've often been used as common grazing land. We tend to get low-growing species, including grasses such as red fescue and common bent, and wildflowers, including nationally scarce ones such as upright chickweed and autumn squill. So the grasses are important for grasshoppers and spiders who live and find shelter amongst the grass, and the wildflowers provide lots of nectar for pollinators such as bees and flies and moths and beetles. Also important are the areas of bare ground, which are used by basking butterflies as the ground heats up, as well as solitary bees and wasps who burrow underground to lay their eggs. One species you may find here is the bee wolf, which is amazing. Despite its name, it's not a bee or a wolf, it's a species of solitary wasp. It gets its name because it's an amazing predator of bees. So they dig their burrows into the soft sandy soils that you get in these lowland acid grasslands, and they can dig their nests 1 metre down into the ground, which is incredible for a creature that is just up to 17 millimetres in length. The female bee wolf then creates 30 to 40 chambers branching off from this central tunnel, and lays an egg in each chamber. She then catches and kills a bee and takes one bee back into each chamber for her larvae to feed on when they emerge from their eggs. Around Richmond and Bushey, there are lots of lumps and bumps in the grassland. These mounds are built by yellow meadow ants. These ants are 2 to 4 millimetres in length, but live in these large nests. They are soil architects, shifting the soil to create these anthills. Surveys carried out in 2017 by Mission Invertebrate, along with some brilliant volunteers, recorded 400,000 anthills in Richmond Park. That means that over 3 billion yellow meadow ants have made their home under our feet in Richmond Park. Inside the nests, there are lots of root aphids who feed on the roots of the plants that grow on top of the anthills. The aphids produce a sugary secretion called honeydew, which the ant feeds on, and it gives them lots of energy. The large number of ants also attracts larger species, namely the green woodpecker, whose favourite food is the yellow meadow ants. So you can often hear them in the parks and see them feeding on the grass. The surveys confirmed that the largest anthills were found in the more ancient parts of the parks. Some nests were discovered to be 150 years old. These older anthills support an even greater abundance of insects, plants and fungi, and understanding the results of this study is helping the Royal Parks to prioritise conservation approaches to protect these anthills and the wildlife they support. Unfortunately, a lot of the lowland acid grassland in London has been lost due to development, conversion to farm or amenity grassland, or a lack of management. So much of the remaining habitat is now fragmented. The best way to manage acid grassland is through grazing, either with livestock or with deer, and we have lots of deer in the park. As they graze, they cut down the taller growing species such as coarser grasses, heather and gorse, allowing shorter grasses and wildflowers to develop. Rabbits also play a role in grazing those coarse grasses. They also create scrapes and bare ground areas as they dig, providing more space for basking insects. This habitat is classified as an area of national importance. So if you see anyone trampling or standing on these anthills, it might be good to tell them why they're here and why they're important. Dog fouling can be a big problem in these habitats because the plants and grasses that grow here specialise on low nutrient soils, and any nutrients that get added to the soils can help faster growing, taller plants to take over and outcompete the plants that are already here. So it's important to remind people to pick up after their dogs. So when you're next in Richmond Park, look out for yellow meadow anthills and search for bare ground where you may be lucky enough to spot a burrowing bee wolf.